let's do it. I expect it to happen immediately. Like, let's go do this.
All right, well, I got to be careful then. Got to be careful when I start talking that shit. Every
You got to be
single
careful
day,
when you're doing it,
talking that
or when you
shit.
say you're gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm lost track of what I'm talking about. Don't really care right now, but you know what I do care about is more
What do you care
E3
about?
stuff is happening or has happened yesterday. I know you're not necessarily the biggest Nintendo guy, but I do know you
Yeah.
love Zelda.
I do love Zelda.
So before we get into Zelda, I do wanna talk about some other fun stuff that popped up at the E3 Direct. Talk some Luigi's Mansion. We got a couple Smash reveals, which I think is the
Yeah.
coolest one. The cool one we mentioned in this podcast last week, or was it earlier this week? Last
Earlier
week.
this week.
It was last
week. Last week.
Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie is on Smash, and I think he's gonna have a great moveset, I'm sure. I wonder if there's a possibility, given Nintendo and Microsoft's increasing buddy-buddy relationship, if we're ever gonna see another Banjo-Kazooie or another like Rare stuff. Maybe Rare actually producing some stuff. Maybe another Donkey Kong game. Maybe another Conker's Bad Fur Day. Hopefully, maybe that'd be great. That'd be cool. But also revealed Dragon Quest Heroes. I don't know how it's working, but there have been like 11 Dragon Quest games, mainline Dragon Quest games, and it looks like you'll be able to play as each of the lead heroes from those games, and they're basically like costume swap outs of each other, which, I mean, they didn't really confirm that aspect, but it does seem like you get to play as all of them, which is kind of badass.
Yeah. Dragon Quest is I remember playing those on old cartridges. Like, I really do. I wasn't the world's biggest Dragon Quest
back when it was called
guy.
Dragon Warrior, back in the US in the day.
And on the Super Nintendo and stuff. I think the first one I played was like 3 or 4, 2 or 3, somewhere around there. Somewhere around 3.
I have no idea. I know they were kind of like, they had different. It was like Final Fantasy, where like some of them hit, most of them didn't.
Yeah.
And then we got like Dragon Warrior 3 on the Game Boy Color, or just the Game Boy. I don't remember which one.
Yeah. And because I am a huge Final Fantasy fan, and this one was a little different, I was just kind of I played Secret of Mana more than I played Dragon Quest.
And speak of that, they have the Mana collection coming to the Switch.
HD or remastered or whatever you want to call it. Which is pretty cool. That was actually born from a Final Fantasy game. Do you know that?
I probably did at some point, but explain it anyway.
It was it's either the Final Fantasy Adventure or the Final Fantasy Legend on the original Game Boy. Yeah, spawned Secret of Mana.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
Yep.
It's kind of like how the Persona series came from Shin Megami Tensei.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I wasn't sure what you meant at first when you said that. I was like, what does that mean? Does that mean they're like, let's do a Final Fantasy? They're like, nah, let's just switch it into Mana. So actually, I don't think I knew that. I know I was a bit confused when I think I saw Final Fantasy Legends, or whatever the fuck it is, on the screen for like the Secret of Mana collection or Trials of Mana collection.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yep.
And then what else do we get in this Direct? A lot of little things, like a lot of closer looks at things. Animal Crossing got delayed to next year. But I think that the big highlight came at the very, 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 very end. Did you see the trailer?
Yes.
Okay, so basically we start off in like the dark area. We see some runes, kind of like glowing runes sort of floating up and spiraling.
What trailer are we talking about, Jammer?
Oh, I wonder what we're talking about. Anyways, they spiral up and stuff, and then we're like in some cave, and we see a familiar type of semi-cell shaded art style with, someone riding some creature underground. And then we see the backs of both Link and Zelda as they make their way through the cave, and it's like, oh shit, this is a thing. And then as it's happening, you get some weird, almost reverse sounding music playing. It's like really eerie and creepy. And then we see some creature holding like it looks like a dead Ganondorf body by the neck, and then that Ganondorf body, I'm assuming Ganondorf, I don't know if it is, his head sort of twists around and his eyes glow, and then we pull out to the outside of like Breath of the Wild map, like legit Breath of the Wild map, and we see Hyrule Castle. An explosion happened underneath, and it almost looks like it's like about to lift off into space, and then it's faded to black, and it says Legend of Zelda sequel, Breath of the Wild sequel is in development. Yep. What do you think about this?
It's interesting. So Breath of the Wild's a cool game. There's things about it that I like, things about it that I don't like. I think maybe if I had it on Switch, it would look prettier, but I think the gameplay is basically the same.
It's pretty much the same. I've played both extensively, and the only thing you're going to get with the Switch version is steadier frame rate
and distance of sight. I think.
Yeah,
as well.
That's not noticeable.
Not noticeable. Okay. So it's a cool game. Me and you talked about this when we did LRM Ranks It Zelda. That there's a lot of great things there that if they continued on with it would be cool. Did I expect them to not just continue on with those mechanics, but a full blown sequel? I don't think I really expected that.
I did. I was hopeful.
What was that?
I was hopeful because my favorite game in the series is Majora's Mask, and that was a direct sequel. And I like the idea of sort of being able to maybe pull back the scope a bit, but go a little deeper for another direct sequel.
But this one, Majora's Mask, it was a sequel, but it was also its own thing. Like, you don't have to play Ocarina to get Majora's Mask. How much of Breath of the Wild, because how much of Breath of the Wild will directly influence this game? Are we going to go to an additional world, a shadow world, or this world or that, and have it where it's like, this is a sequel, or is it going to be like, do you know what I'm saying? Is it going to be a full blown sequel where all the story element, where you need to have played the first game in order to play this one?
No, probably not. It'll probably be its own little adventure, like basically like Majora's Mask, where you have this allusion to stuff that happened, but it's its own story.
And I'm hoping for a little bit more story and a little bit more, well, let's just say more developed story.
Yeah.
Let's face it, Breath of the Wild was definitely just showing off the new stuff. That's really what it was. It was a really, really fun way to show off all of the new stuff, the new tech, the new style.
I don't know what you mean by showing off all of the stuff. I don't know if I agree with that. What do you mean by that?
I don't think they focused as much on story.
That's true.
Experience was what they were, come experience this world more than experience this
story.
It
was very much a gameplay focused game. Like, it wasn't about the story.
And in this one, I would like to get not necessarily all story with no innovations or additions to the gameplay, but I would like a little bit more story for this one. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, like I said, like Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask was fucking awesome story, in my opinion. And I think I'd like something along the lines of that. However, I want the best of both worlds. I don't want it to be... I still want to explore, because that was the best part, is being able to explore and using those mechanics. And I don't want to see a lot of those mechanics go away. I want to see sort of a development or an iteration on what we had before, rather than kind of starting from scratch once again. But yeah, potentially a more developed story. I don't know how you can do a developed story using the style they've established if you really want to go full on open world. But I don't know. I will say I think this movie's going to be bigger than a lot of us are anticipating. What?
You said think this movie.
Oh, game. Sorry. I was going to say movie again. I think this game is going to be bigger than we anticipate, because I think right now a lot of us are like, oh, well, it's just a follow up. It's probably going to be using the same engine. So it's probably going to be sort of a smaller scale thing. But I don't think it is, simply because by the time it comes out, it'll probably be 2021, which will be 4 years after. And the first one took 5 years of development or something like that. So with that in mind, it's like one less year using the same engine. I'm expecting another big world.
Yeah, definitely. Not only that, but there's rumors,
of course,
and they're just rumors, that there's going to be like a Switch Pro, like a upgraded Switch, and it's just rumors, everybody. Like, but if that's true, then you might be able to get a little bit boost in graphics quality and frame rates and things like that. And there might be some additional power that this new game will be able to take advantage of. And so, if it takes to 2021, sure, why not?
I don't think it will. I don't think it really will. I don't think it'll be anything huge if it does have like the power upgrade or whatever, because that's just you can't make it depend on people having a Switch Pro without making.
No, you can't make it.
You can't make it depend on it. And if you do, it's like. And if you cannot rely on that, it can't be like real meaningful graphical upgrades, really.
You do it like the PlayStation 4 Pro. There's all of the games will work on a regular PlayStation 4, but if you've got a Pro, there's extra options to play with your Do you want 4K? Do you want 60 frames per second? Do
Right.
you want standard? Things like that. That's something that they could do. And I was just saying that this game could take advantage of some options like that.
Yeah,
So.
I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. I think it's fine. You know, it looks the way it is, and maybe just get some extra polish to it, make it look nicer. Totally fine. But I don't think we need an upgrade because at the end of the day, the Wii U version or the Switch version it was made for the Wii U. You know, it wasn't made.
Yeah.
It wasn't even optimized for the Switch. So they could probably use more of the power in this thing if they really needed to. Anyway.
Yeah. Very true. And it was a beautiful game on both systems and a lot of fun to play. So
I will say also, you know how it had like the reverse sounding music? Like, did it sound like it was reversed to you?
I mean, yeah, I get exactly where you're coming from. Because there's stutters. Yeah, I guess you can say.
I went in and I downloaded the trailer and I played it backwards, and nothing. It doesn't sound like anything different. It doesn't sound like familiar. I know someone in the comments said, "Oh, it sounds like Zelda's Lullaby." I'm like, "No, the fuck, it doesn't. It does not sound like Zelda's Lullaby." So yeah, I don't know what they did. It sounds creepy either way, but it doesn't seem like. At least I wasn't able to detect any recognizable song from it, so that's disappointing.
Aw,
I know.
No Easter egg.
No Easter egg. Next time.
You did all that work.
Yeah, all those minute and a half of me just reversing it in iMovie. So much work.
Oh man, yeah. Disney definitely had fucking Nintendo. Nintendo definitely had a pretty good day. Yeah. What else, man?
What else?
Big E3. What I want to say this about the E3 stuff though.
Do you though?
I don't want to use this turn of phrase because it's very grotesque and adult, but E3, they let the best go before the show even actually started. You know what I'm saying? It's weird to me how they did that.
That's
all
not
these
weird.
Press conferences announced so much more big stuff before the show even started. I don't know, it just felt weird.
That's usually how it goes though. Because the press conferences happen usually leading up to E3, and then E3 is all about the little announcements and about the gameplay stuff on the show floor.
I guess. Maybe because Square Enix's theater was so small compared to like 2015 and stuff. I don't know, it feels weird to me this year. This year feels off. Maybe it's because now instead of just as a fan, I'm watching this stuff as a contributor to an entertainment website. Maybe that's why it's weird to me, you know? Mm-hmm. But because I'm used to getting things during, while it's happening from sites like LRMonline.com and things like that. So yeah, maybe that's why it feels weird to me.
Yeah, but, that makes sense. You're looking for more, and it's like all of a sudden all the stuff is up front and not throughout the game or not throughout the show, so to speak. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else big that came. Cadence of Hyrule hits tomorrow. Oh, by the way, you may notice we're a little... Oh, it's LRMornings. Did we introduce ourselves?
No, you just started talking.
I'm fucking sorry, dude. What's up? Now's your chance.
How's it going? Yeah, and welcome to LRMornings with Kyle and Jammer. I'm Kyle.
I'm Jammer, and I guess for today, it's kind of like LR late morning or LR afternoons for today. Yeah. I know we had to start a little bit late, so don't worry, it's not going to be a pattern.
No, and our intro's 15 minutes in.
That reminds me, I've been watching Good Omens. Have you watched that on Amazon Prime?
Not yet. That is on mine and my wife's to-do list.
The second or third... It's good, but the second or third episode has like a 30-minute cold open. Like, it goes through this whole epic thing, and then the opening happens. I'm like, what? I was very confused. Like, what opening is this? Like, did we go through an episode without me realizing it? But no, it's just a 30-minute cold open.
Wow. So you were experimenting, is what you're saying?
What?
With cold opens for us.
What does that even mean? Oh, exactly. Yeah, I was experimenting. I can't even...
You're so lost.
Have
you had any coffee this morning?
I've had coffee already this morning, so... But it's been so late since I've had coffee. Well, I've been drinking it constantly. I have no excuse, is what it comes down to.
You have no
I'm just slow. Witcher 3 is coming to Switch. I know that Cam is a huge fan of that franchise, and I'm definitely going to be buying it when the time comes. Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition, getting that as well. I'm a huge fan, like you said, or I didn't say that, but you said you've played some. I'm definitely going to check out the Dragon Quest XI, and the great thing about that is you can switch. It gets a full orchestrated score. It's the first stateside game to get that, or stateside release to get that because of legal reasons, I guess. And then also you can switch to 2D overhead, like the old school 8-bit version, which is fucking
cool.
sick.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
Yeah. But it was like going back to like the what was it, Halo Definitive Edition? I don't remember which one it was, but the one where you could switch.
Halo Infinite.
Was it Infinite? I don't know, but it was the one where you could switch between the original Xbox graphics and the Xbox One graphics or Xbox 360.
I didn't catch that.
I don't remember.
I don't. I'll be honest with you. I've played Halo 2, not all the way through, just kind of fooled around with the multiplayer with some friends. I don't care about Halo. You guys can hate me. Send all your hateful comments at that.
Calm down. No need to be so vicious. If it's not your thing, that's fine. You don't need to prompt people to attack you.
I want them to attack me.
Why?
No, because there are no, I'm joking. I mean,
no. Why are you being an asshole?
Because I am.
Okay, fair enough. Continue.
No, but I don't. So all of the Halo stuff everybody's freaking out about, I didn't watch it. I saw the Halo Infinite trailer. I didn't know they were doing this thing where you can use classic Halo graphics, because I didn't see that. So I saw the Infinite trailer and was like, whatever. And yeah.
I'm actually not up to date on the Halo stuff either. I think I fell off after 2. So it's been a long while. I've missed 18 Halos since then. But it's a nice looking franchise. But I fell off of that generation, the Xbox 360, PS3 generation. I basically wasn't even a part of. And I used to be huge into gaming back when I was in middle school and early high school. I was ready to become either a game journalist or work in development in some way, like as a writer. But my path took me elsewhere as I grew up, and I got more into sort of film and other forms of writing as well. And I'm just a fan now. I'm just a big fan. Yeah, we report on some of this stuff on LRM Online, but it's definitely, as you can tell, not the entire focus. We're just more huge fans than anything else.
Definitely. So yeah, E3, lots of stuff, great stuff. But there is some movie stuff that happened.
Yes.
There's a pretty big rumor.
Yes.
Concerning the Bat.
Yeah.
The Batman. The man that dresses as a bat. And his upcoming movie. What is it? Geeks Worldwide.
Yep.
Got this information and reported that there are supposedly 4 villains confirmed for Matt Reeves's The Batman. These villains include the Riddler, Catwoman, Penguin, and Firefly. I won't lie to you, I don't know who the fuck Firefly is. Do you?
I think my only exposure to Firefly may have been in Gotham in like the first couple of seasons, I believe, but I forgot if that's the case. So not incredibly familiar, but I think I have seen the character. I think they had a flamethrower, unless I'm mistaken. But Catwoman was rumored, as was Penguin beforehand. Yep. I don't think we got anything for the Riddler. I think this is the first time we've heard of the Riddler being fully involved, and the first time at Firefly as well. So half of that has already been rumored. They say confirmed. It's still a rumor, but they have confirmed with their sources, who they trust, who's what we're getting here. But you can continue with the news.
So yeah, it looks like the Riddler as the main villain, and they're casting a male actor of any ethnicity between the ages of 30 and 40. Catwoman, they're looking for female of any ethnicity, 20 to 30. Penguin, male, 20 to 40. Firefly, male, 20 to 30. That's a big age gap for Penguin, 20 to 40. All the other ones, it's a 10-year age gap. They want somebody that can at least look like, Catwoman. They want somebody that can at least look like she's in her 20s. But Penguin, they're, I guess, because of the prosthesis and our prosthetics and the makeup, it really doesn't matter. And maybe I don't know. I found it kind of weird. It's a 20-year gap for him. What do you think of an older Riddler, 30 to 40 years old?
That's not older. that's I'm 31 right now, so I'm like, that's not older to me.
Well, Batman in this movie he's supposed to be like 30 himself. This is kind of like a seasoned. I don't know.
How old was Riddler in the Gotham show? How old was that actor? Riddler, Gotham. Like he was in his 20s, and I thought he seemed young. So I'm totally down to see him a little bit older than that. I mean, it makes sense. Given everything. Who the fuck is this actor? Corey Michael Smith. So how old is Corey Michael Smith age?
Yeah,
32 years
riveting.
old. So yeah, 28-ish. So yeah, he was in his 20s.
Okay. So yeah, it'd be all right.
Yeah, and I think because right now he's still in his 30s. So no, I don't think it's older.
Yeah, no, it should be all right. It kind of looks like with all these characters' ages that we're getting, like you said, a Batman that's not a veteran per se, not like a longtime veteran Batman, but he's also not brand new. You know, he's been doing this for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's been doing it for up to a decade. Which, if these four are still running around, he's obviously sucking at his job. But
I think we could say that about any Batman, right? With
I know, just joking around.
I know that. God, you guys.
Well, I don't know if the audience knows it because they're so protective over Batman. This is like the only thing they've got.
That's not true.
In the world of DC.
That is not
Wonder
true.
Woman did all right. Aquaman, a lot of people liked, and Shazam did okay. But Batman is their go-to. Batman is DC's, in my opinion,
golden child.
Some people will say it's DC's Spider-Man.
I would say that.
And others will argue that Superman is DC's Spider-Man as far as like the iconic character for the comic book group. But it's all about the Batman from what I can tell. All about the Batman. And this movie, there was that other rumor that we talked about a little bit ago, earlier this week, I think, that James Gunn is going to be helping to kind of not reboot the current DCEU, but start basically a new timeline.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, to be honest.
Not on the podcast. We talked about it on the website.
How did we miss that?
I don't remember. Was that because of Final Fantasy VII news yesterday?
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
Whoops.
Definitely worth talking that. No, but we'll talk about it now for a little bit. So it looks like that DC's going to basically say, okay, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and I guess even the Birds of Prey, you guys are part of this old timeline, but this new stuff with the Batman, possibly the Suicide Squad, and stuff going forward won't necessarily interact with the stuff from the Zack Snyder Justice League era. Now, does that mean they will never interact? I have no idea. For a long time, I've been saying DC should just focus on individual franchises, and then every now and then you say, hey, there's a crisis. Flash runs through all these timelines and alternate Earths, grabs the heroes to go fight Darkseid or whoever on some plane of existence. And that's your Justice League movie. It's too late for them to do the comprehensive cinematic universe the way Marvel did. So that to me has been the best way. So I'm wondering, are they starting a brand new universe, or is it going to be more like what I just said? What do you think is actually going to happen with this?
That's a good question. I have no fucking clue. I don't know how you do that, because you have aspects that worked about it, like Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and I guess to a lesser extent Shazam, because Shazam, like, they didn't show Superman's face. We didn't actually see the physical versions of anyone. So that right now can go in any different timeline. You know, the Suicide Squad will still have connections to Suicide Squad because of Harley Quinn and Joel Kinnaman and a couple other characters as well. So Captain Boomerang and all that. So there are going to be connections still. So I don't know, man. I don't know how you maybe they can X-Men First Class it to where everything taking place in, decades prior is a part of this world and everything else part of that world. But then you have Wonder Woman and her time hopping shit. So who knows? Like, there's no easy way of saying that. And then it makes me wonder, what's up with her movies? Like, how far into the future are we going to get?
Yeah, if we ever do a Justice League movie, will it be with the new timeline? Will Gal Gadot be a part of that Justice League movie? Will Jason Momoa be part of the Justice? That's why I say you say everything's separate. Everything is separate.
Except it isn't, though, because it hasn't.
Everything's its own Earth, but it is a multiverse. You just go with the multiverse idea. you finally do a Flash movie that shows not only can he reach through time, but he can reach through alternate Earths. And that's how you do it. That's how you can have a Justice League movie that might have different actors than are in the franchises, because maybe that actor doesn't want to do the big crossover film. So he grabs Superman from Earth 12 instead of Earth 1, and he grabs Wonder Woman from the DCEU, and she comes over, but maybe Jason Momoa doesn't want to do another Justice League movie, so they grab the other Aquaman from Earth 16.
Aqualad.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, whatever. But you don't...
I don't like that approach.
Do you agree with the fact that it's too late for them to do a comprehensive cinematic universe?
No.
You think they can?
Yeah, why not?
Because they tried to.
No. There's just because the first. I mean, fucking World War II happened in the world. And that doesn't mean that we rebooted and created a new world. It just means that we continue on from this world and then continue on. That's just the way it is. Like,
but they're not going to continue on.
I know, but I'm saying I don't think they should. I think they should continue on. Like, just go forward. And if this Batman takes place in the 90s, then they're going to have to age up Robert Pattinson if they want to do stuff in the present timeline. So I don't see any reason why this can't be connected. It'll suck a little bit to not have consistent cast, but they didn't reboot the Marvel timeline when they replaced War Machine or when they replaced Bruce Banner or when they did other stuff. They just kept going.
But they had a better plan and their movies were successful.
Well, yeah. So I mean, most of the DC movies were successful. Like they had one failure. They had one failure. Everything else was a financial hit, even if the movies weren't well received.
Yes.
But like I said, we had shitty stuff happen in humanity. We had terrible things happen. The world continues on. Like, let's just let it continue on. There's no
So you just
point.
want to continue on with the DC?
Yeah, just stop this restarting shit. Just stop restarting. Just keep going. Just land from your failures, pivot, and then continue on.
I don't think they're doing that.
I don't think so either. But I mean, if this rumor is
if the rumor
is even true, which I mean, it's a rumor. We don't even know.
Yeah.
And we know that he's going back to Marvel after this.
James
So
Gunn.
and he's a big part of the future of Marvel too. So I mean, maybe it could happen. It's possible, but this is just as far as I know, one outlet, one source, or maybe a couple sources. I don't remember, but I don't know if it's been corroborated by anybody else.
But worth discussing and kind of opinion.
I think they should just continue forward. Stop waffling. Just fucking continue. Just fucking do it.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. This is something on topic, but a little off topic. How much longer do you think we have comic book movies for?
Indefinitely. I don't think they're going anywhere. Maybe we have less of them, but they're varied enough in genre that they can change things up and make it work. I don't know about having, a million TV shows is the thing we're going to have, but as far as movies go, I think they're here to stay.
Okay. So you don't think that they're running out of time to have a big success?
No.
Successful crossover event?
No.
Justice League type thing?
Not at all.
Should they call the next one Justice League?
Yeah. Why
or
not?
The Justice League?
Yeah, why not? Like, by that point, the branding will have taken hold and been fine.
Yeah.
If assuming, because the last few movies or last couple movies have been solid. People like Aquaman. People like Shazam. Hopefully, people are going to be liking some of the other stuff they have coming up next year. And I think it's just about making sure each movie is good. And once that takes hold, people will forgive its pitfalls in the past. And fans have really short attention spans. Yes, we are aware of the past, but we're more interested in what recently movies have done for us. Like the old adage saying, Hollywood is a business of what have you done for me lately? And as long as they continue to do solid things, I don't think they're going to care that the first few movies in a whole cinematic universe were garbage. I just don't
know. Look at Dark Phoenix.
What does Dark Phoenix have to do with anything?
It had a whole bunch of movies that sucked, and I think that affected it. And in its franchise history, even though
different.
Days of Future Past was good.
No, that's different.
And Logan was good.
That's different.
I think it still suffered from...
X-Men is one franchise. And it was having fatigue. That would be like saying, okay, people are sick of Thor movies. Not necessarily sick of a whole universe.
I guess. I don't know.
And also got really bad reviews. That doesn't help either.
And which is different for the DCEU movies because most of them got horrible reviews but still made money. So I don't know. DC's whole situation is weird, and I'm not picking on them like, I want DC movies to be good, because if DC movies do good, then the fans are happy. And I like it when the movies I like and the characters I like get a good movie, and I'm happy. When I get an Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'm unhappy. When I get an Avengers Endgame, I'm very happy. So, yeah, I hope DC figures it out and gives their fans.
I mean, you
their
make it
due.
sound like they've been failing lately. The past two movies, once again, have been good. You know, though they had
Good.
Wonder Woman. No, great. They've been great. Like, I really liked Aquaman, and I loved Shazam. And a lot of people feel the same way.
I wasn't as impressed as others.
Yeah.
They're good. They're not amazing. They're not.
I love Shazam. I thought that was basically the Spider-Man Homecoming of the franchise. I thought that was so much fun.
It was fun. No, I think Homecoming was better. I mean, they
Sure.
both had. I mean, Homecoming had a much better villain.
Yeah.
Much better villain, and some good twists. But Shazam was a fun movie. Yeah, absolutely. But
I think we have
it felt like a
you're
Phase 1
downplaying.
Marvel film.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with that, but I mean, it did in that it was an origin story, but I think it felt more on par with like a later origin story, like a Phase 3 origin story to me.
Like a Doctor Strange,
in terms
or,
of yeah.
I
As
don't know.
far I think it was better than I liked it more than Doctor Strange personally.
Well, you're a terrible person.
I'm just saying.
Doctor
My
Stephen
point is,
Strange
I
the
think
Sorcerer Supreme.
I think you're comparing it to Marvel too much and not just kind of enjoying it on its own merits.
I'm looking at them as movies and whether or not I enjoy them, period. I mean, there's certain aspects, like we discussed this before, Wonder Woman. Everybody raved about Wonder Woman, but me, my buddy Brian, who will be on this week's of LRM Ranks It, both of us were like, Gal Gadot was one of the weakest parts of that movie. Like, what? Yes, it was a good movie, but was it that great? No, without Chris Pine carried a lot of weight on that movie, on his shoulders. Absolutely. And I can't remember if I was talking to you or somebody else from the website, but agreed that she was weaker than other leading characters have been in their movies. And Aquaman, it was decent. It was
I think that movie was
film.
it was so I was so unique in that, like I said this before on the podcast, where it was the one where I was super excited for the fight scenes, because I usually am never excited for the fight scenes in comic movies.
It was a spectacle film, but has the DCEU had a Winter Soldier yet? I don't think so.
I don't know why you keep having to compare it to Marvel, though. Why can't you just say this is a good movie? You're having to compare it. Say it doesn't have a Winter Soldier. It's not a Phase 2 movie.
No,
it's not a Phase 3 MCU
it doesn't
movie.
have that level of quality. None of them have that level of quality, character, and execution yet. That's what I'm
not a
saying.
single one of them is better than any of the Marvel movies.
Dude, there's Aquaman was definitely better than Incredible Hulk. Probably better than Thor: The Dark World. Yeah, there's movies that are better, but I'm saying they haven't, in my opinion, had a full-blown on story, character, execution, and graphics, even
Visual effects.
success. Yeah, visual effects. A success, like all of it. But Marvel's had a few of those. Other movies, and the reason why you got to compare it to Marvel is what other comic book franchise.
But why do
movies can you compare it to?
Why do you have to compare it to anything? Why can't you just enjoy it as a movie and not enjoy it as a comparison-itis
No,
thing?
I can enjoy, but I can definitely point out the things that, because I've seen other things, I'm definitely going to compare. Well,
sure, but I don't. I think
this.
I think that's unfair, though. I think it's unfair to constantly point to that and say, well, it's not as good as that, so therefore it's not good, or therefore it's not as great as
I didn't say
it could
it's
be.
not as good. Well, yeah, I said it's not as good, but it's not as good because it didn't do this. It's not as good because those are things that make a good movie. You know, I don't know. When your lead character is one of the weakest parts of a film, that's not a good thing. That makes me go, this movie
I don't
is not
agree
as great
with
as
you
other
on
people are
that.
thinking.
Yes, Chris Pine I think was better, but I don't think Gal Gadot was one of the weakest parts. I actually really loved her in that movie. Even if she wasn't able to act circles around anybody, I think she brought a lot of her own personality to it that really worked in the role. So I would disagree with you as far as whether or not she was the weakest part.
And that's cool. And then, like I said, Aquaman was a fun film, but it was all spectacle. Aquaman,
I can agree with that.
Was all spectacle. So I can't really look at that and be like, I was blown away by story or performances. And then Shazam is a really fun family film. It's a fun film. It's a little spectacle. It's a little story. It's a little bit on the actors. I mean, really, if you want to talk about the best well-rounded one, still with a crappy, villain, which a lot of superhero movies on all sides have really crappy villains. That was probably the closest to a well-rounded comic book film, Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
So, point being is, I do think that a lot of DC films have given the short end of the stick to their fans, and I just want them to be better. I want them to be better. So
Okay.
I hope they are in the future.
All right. Agree to disagree. Ready to rip out your throat.
We'll be having our death match later on this afternoon, so be sure to look out for that on LRMonline.com. While you guys are at LRMonline.com, make sure you guys are checking out all the latest and greatest entertainment news and opinion and stuff on geeky things and entertainment. Yeah, you name it, we got it. We do it. YouTube channel, lots of content, brand new content, including LRMornings. You're going to start getting your the ability to catch LRMornings on YouTube. Maybe you don't have the SoundCloud app to download our podcasts. Well, now you can listen to us straight from YouTube, as well as the Los Fanboys podcast channels with things like Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast, LRM Ranks It, Los Fanboys itself, and of course, every Monday through Friday, LR Mornings with Kyle and Jammer.
I mean, you could also listen on whatever podcast app you're using, so there's that as well, in addition to SoundCloud. You don't need to do SoundCloud, is my point.
Yes, we're on iTunes. What are the ones that we're not on?
We're not on Stitcher yet, or Spotify.
Not on Stitcher yet. Okay, but we're going to get there. Call them, email them, demand them. Demand LRMonline.com's Los Fanboys podcast channel on Stitcher and Spotify. Jammer, where can people find you at online?
You can find me on Twitter at JamTheWriter, and you could find all of my film and TV stuff at LRM Online.
And you guys can find me at that Kyle Malone on Twitter and pretty much everything else that we do for the website. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
Adios.